you guys are going to paint your wheels with tints, tones, and shades. First, you're gonna paint the original color, and I'm going to demo red. That's one, so I don't have to do any mixing. Notice my paint palette. I have 3 small, little tiny amounts of paint because notice the spaces are very, very small. You will never use all of this paint even. This is too much. So when you put the paint in your paint palette, make sure that you are just taking a tiny bit, especially with black, because when you darken your colors, you're only gonna need like a dot of black on that brush. All right, so you're gonna start with the red, and you're going to paint it in this center triangle. Try the best to keep it nice and neat because craftsmanship is part of your grade. So you want to be careful staying in the lines. Don't be afraid to turn your paper. If you paint better a certain way, turn your paper so that it makes it easier. Also, you don't want it streaky, so you want to try to be soft with your paint strokes. Besides, if you press really hard with the brush, it's just gonna spew all out everywhere. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is really easy. I'm going to look on this guide right here, and it tells me that the tint, which is hue plus white, is gonna be this one right next to it. So all I really have to do is take a chunk of my red, mix it inside my white. And ta-da, I have a tint. And a tint of red is pink. So I'm going to paint that one pink, which is a tint of red.
Art.
So you notice I didn't have to wash my brush in between that one because I went right from red to the tint. All right, so I got that one done. I'm gonna wash my brush off. And the next one on there is tone, but I'm going to go up one and I'm gonna do hue plus black, which is a shade. And so what I can do now, I'm gonna do a little bit opposite of what I did for the tint, because when you do a shade, you don't want a ton of black, you just want some. So I'm taking a little tiny dot on my brush and I'm going back into the original red because I'm done with that red for now. And that deepened my red quite a bit. If you want to deepen it a little bit more, you can add a tiny bit more. If you use too much black, it will get too dark. You want to be careful of that because black sometimes is very strong. I'm going to double check. Hue plus black is on the outer part. All right. Now, that's only the color plus black. Now, if I wanted to, I could take some white and add back into that, and that would make it a tone. But I'm gonna go through this so that you guys can see. I'm gonna mix up gray, which is right here.
Extraordinary technique.
And honestly, I probably put too much black in there, but we're just gonna see if it works. I'm gonna rinse off my brush again. And you notice that I'm drying my brush in between, because if you add water to these paints, it's going to get watery and runny, and you don't want that. So I'm gonna take a glob of gray and I'm gonna put it into one of my gray reds that is not mixed with anything else. And you see that starts to tone down that color. If I want to tone it down some more, I'll add a little bit more. This makes kind of like a maroon color. And that one is going to go right here. So now the primaries are going to be really easy to do because you will be able to squeeze the color right out of the bottle. The secondaries, you're going to have two colors to begin with to make your colors. So when I decide to go to violet, I'm going to have blue and red in my paint palette in order to mix violet, and then I'm gonna have to go do those three things as well. So keep that in mind. The primaries are gonna be the three easiest ones that you can do because you're just pulling paint out of a bottle, okay? So, any questions? If I decided to go on, I'm going to get rid of this palette and I'm gonna start over to do another color, okay? All right, all set?
Extraordinary.
Cool, all right, have fun painting.